Alright, boys and girls, Benjamin Bokchoy here with another F124 video. We're at Zandvoort with Max Verstappen looking to win the race, and as you can see there, we had to lower the setup, or lower the wings a little bit. This is just a time trial setup. Nothing changed except for the wings, and you'll see why later on in the race. So 5 down on the front wing and 2 down on the rear wing. So instead of 50-35, we're going 45-33, just to help us get a little bit more straight line speed and help us harvest battery a little bit better. And you're gonna need that at Zandvoort. So as you can see here, we're starting P5. Norris behind us is a real threat, so you always have to be looking out for him. There's some things you can do to try and make it a little bit easier for yourself, and we'll go through it as the race goes on. So here we're going down to none ERS deploy. We're trying to save as much battery as possible, set us up for a very good fastest lap. If you can hit anything under a 111, it should be a decent lap, but you know, anything like a 111.2, 111.1 will be good as well. So we get by signs here using a little bit of overtake. We're on hot lap mode right now as well, and as you can see, Russell right in front of us. You want to try and catch up to him before the end of the lap. Try and get DRS down the pit straight again to help with your fastest lap. But yeah, Norris sticking right to us. He gets by signs as well, only a half a second back on us. Now the AI ahead that you're trying to catch, they're not exactly quick. The medium tires that you have on aren't fresh, but they are fresh enough. I believe they're better than the tires on the cars ahead anyway. So you don't really have to worry about that, or tire temps. Because they're relatively new tires, the temperatures of tires don't really affect you that much. So we catch up to Russell down this DRS straight here, and we're going to save our battery for the pit straight to try and get a good end to our fastest lap here. Yeah, the tires do generally overheat at Zandvoort, but you're on the mediums. It's at the end of the race, low fuel in the car, and it's only maybe about 7 or 8 laps anyway, so you don't have to really worry about temps too much. Now as we cross the line, we get a 1:10.949. Not too bad, nowhere close to esports times, but not too bad. And Norris doesn't get a fastest lap after we cross the line, so that's always good as well. Up next, Leclerc, and what you want to try and do now, as I've been trying to do, is box Norris in behind the car that we're overtaking. That way you can kind of get a lap or two to build a gap and try to pull your car a little bit further ahead, so that you will have a better advantage towards the end of the race. So if you haven't noticed, the last couple cars we have been catching up to the driver ahead right around this DRS zone here. If you can't get DRS on them, that's fine. They're really slow through this right-left corner complex here, so you can always make up a little bit of time, and you just want to aim for getting DRS. Now as you can see here, we're not super close to Leclerc, and Norris isn't super close to us, so this is a good opportunity. Go a little bit late on the overtake here. Try and box Norris in, because if you don't, he's just going to be on your gearbox for the entirety of the end of the race, and you won't get a moment to breathe. But fortunately for us, we do manage to get Norris boxed in behind Leclerc here, and the AI just cannot overtake unless it's a DRS zone for some reason. So we have 2 sectors here to try and build up a gap while we're chasing down Piastri, and again, shouldn't be a problem. The AI isn't super quick here. I think we were like 2 seconds behind at the start of the lap, and we're already down to 1.2, and we've caught up to him again right at the same DRS detection zone. So we do manage to get DRS, yes we do, which should help us. Norris is now 1.5 seconds behind. Leclerc is out of DRS, which kind of sucks. I do wish Leclerc had gotten DRS so that he could have defended for a little bit while longer, but that's fine. The overtake on Leclerc has slowed Norris down a little bit, and now he's 2 seconds back. So we're right on Piastri here. This isn't going to be a difficult overtake or anything like that either. And just put on the overtake there, go back down to medium, use a little bit more because I wasn't quite sure if we were going to clear him or not. And from this moment on, you really need to focus on harvesting battery as much as you can while maintaining the gap to Norris. Once Norris catches up to Piastri, it's not going to be a difficult overtake for him either. he's going to get by Piastri really easily. And so you want to just focus on your battery harvesting and make sure that you have enough, because he will eventually catch up to you again. I mean, unless you're an esports driver, in which case I don't think they have to worry about Norris. But for the rest of us mere mortals who aren't lightning quick at this game, harvest your battery. We're at 30% now, and I don't want to drop down to none just because that will just allow Norris to catch up even quicker. So we're just going to keep it at medium, do our best to try and not use battery if we don't have to. We're going to skip ahead now to the end of the penultimate lap, and Norris is already on our gearbox. But fortunately, we do have 70% battery here. We're going to use some overtake down the main straight. He's about a half a second back. He's going to have DRS, and he will be using overtake to try and chase us down. But we managed to stay ahead of him. I don't think he was deploying down that straight. But we're down to, well, we're down to about 25 when we hit turn 1, but now we're closer to 40%. And unfortunately, this is Zandvoort. It's difficult to overtake even on the main straight. So sectors 1 and 2, there's really nowhere for him to really get by us unless we make a mistake. So all we have to do is maintain just a clean bit of driving here, and he shouldn't be able to get ahead of us. So this is the danger zone right here, this little short DRS zone. For some reason they love deploying a bunch of overtake down this short DRS zone, but you should have position. We do have to use a little bit of overtake to make sure that we stay ahead of him, and then he sticks to our gearbox through these corners here. So trying to save as much battery as we can for the final run down the main straight, down to 45% battery or so, and we deploy the moment we feel full traction on the car. And look how close this is, and this is the reason why we had to lower the wings a little bit, just because we were losing this drag race every single time with the time trial setup. So I went down 2 clicks on the rear, 5 clicks on the front, and we barely managed to finish ahead of him. So this one was a little bit more difficult than the Spain scenario, just because there wasn't a Norris chasing us down like there was in this race, and it took me quite a bit to get the win, more than Spain anyway. But it was good enough to complete every single thing that we needed to complete in this race, overtake every single car that was ahead of us to finish first place, and managed to keep Norris behind us with 1:10.949 as our fastest lap, and it was good enough for 312,000 points. Again, this is another weird scenario because I did a race yesterday that I actually won where I thought I drove a little bit better, and we finished with only like 279,000 points. So there was a pretty huge discrepancy in the final total score there, but good enough to finish P7 in the standings so far. And yeah, those are pretty fun ones. So that's it for us, guys. If you feel like I've earned it, feel free to leave a like, comment, or subscribe. Stay tuned for more. Remember to eat your bok choy, and I will see you all in the next one.